Hi friends, welcome to Chaotic Knitting. It's been a little while since I made another episode of this knitting podcast, but I'm very excited today to see all of you guys again. I can't actually see you guys because I'm looking at a camera, but I imagine that you guys are all there and I'm very pleased with that. I have so many things to talk about today. And I'm really looking forward to sharing many things with you guys today. So I would suggest that you grab your knitting projects if you like to knit along to this episode. Grab a nice drink. I have with me today this delicious iced latte with oat milk. Once again, it's still very hot in Belgium. It never ends.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
But we're gonna manage and we have a nice fresh drink today, so delicious. I have some finished objects that I would like to talk to you about. I have some works in progress that I'd like to talk to you about. And I have, again, many acquisitions. I did go to Scotland in the past month. And of course, I used the opportunity of visiting this beautiful country and made a lot of yarn and yarn accessory acquisitions there. So very excited to be able to show you guys all of that in this podcast today as well. As per usual, I would like to start off with the finished objects of the past month. The first finished object that I would like to talk to you guys about is the one that I'm wearing today, which is the very V-neck sweater from Jessie May Designs. I am in love with this sweater. It is so beautiful. I don't know what to say. I love the structure of the garment. I love the color. I love the fiber. It's knit in Rowan's linen yarn. It's super airy and light. I think I'll still get a lot of use out of this one when it goes more into autumn and the weather gets a little bit more fresh outside. As today it's still 30 degrees. It's a little bit too hot, but the linen it's such a comfortable fiber. I am really overjoyed with this project. I think the sweater it looks so beautiful. The pattern for the sweater it's very cropped. I think I mentioned this in my past podcast. I really elongated the length of the yoke with about, I think, like 7-8 centimeters. So it's much longer than the pattern suggests, but I really needed this because it barely just like stays under my bust when I lift up my arms. So yeah, I think I really needed that extra length, and I'm really pleased that it's still quite of a cropped look, which I really enjoy. So I'm really happy with this. I also always have the thing that I knit my sleeves a little bit too short, which I honestly don't mind. I think it looks cute. But I don't know if that's like a common thing to always stop knitting a little bit too early on the sleeves. Maybe it has something to do with that, like sleeves are usually not the most interesting part of knitting a specific project. Because I've had this before that they were like, oh yeah, these sleeves are a little short, but with this one I'm actually quite happy about it. So yeah, it's all good. Really love this project. Really happy with it. Then the second finished object of the two finished objects in total that I will be talking about today is the sweater number 5 that I knit as a gift for my dear friends. It's already been a while since I finished this. I finished it somewhere, I think towards the end of July. So it's been a month already since I finished it. It went really quickly for all my complaining about it. Once I knit past the yoke and was working on the body, it was such a quick project to knit up. And then after you finish the yoke, it's really not that complicated anymore. So still really pleased with this pattern. It's the second time I've knit this sweater. Both of these sweaters that I knit look absolutely gorgeous. The sweater that I made for myself, I've got lots of compliments about. My friend was really overjoyed with it. I don't have it with me, but I'll show you a little video of her wearing it. It fit really well. So yeah, the yarn that I made this one with is Holstgarn Cielo, and it is such a lovely fiber, and it was quite affordable. It's really soft. It was such a joy to knit with. So yeah, another finished object that I'm very pleased with, and that also already concludes all the finished objects that I will be mentioning today. It's going to be quite an acquisition heavy podcast once again. I feel like I always end up saying this, which is not a good thing. Oh well, it is what it is. In the last video that I made, I showed you guys all of the finished projects of the past year, amongst which was a top that I actually never wore, even though I really liked it. Because it was too revealing. But in the past week, I kind of gathered my courage to attack the pile of shame, which means all the finished garments that needed washing or blocking and had been like lying in a pile on the floor of my room for months and months. And I realized that I had actually never blocked a stop yet. And I did now. And I stretched the body and I stretched the cups, and it actually fits now. So yeah, that's great news. It's almost the end of the summer. If I would have done this earlier, I might have like worn it in the summer, but yeah, anyway, I'm very happy about that because this really gorgeous top with this gorgeous hand-dyed yarn is something that I'm able to wear now, which is great. So yeah, I wanted to mention that as well. Like even as I'm speaking now, there's like on the floor of this room, there's like sweaters lying to dry flats everywhere. I don't know. My house is a bit weird sometimes, I think. When I was also doing all of this washing and blocking, I was blocking the camisole number 3 that I finished a little while ago. And it was the first project that I ever knit in superwash yarn. And I had heard that it could stretch out a little bit, but then I was blocking it. I was so stressed because it was like double the size. So I was like, oh no, this beautiful camisole is going to become unwearable. And I basically had already mentally given up on it because I know, you know, like sometimes, I don't know, it's my experience with knitting that you kind of have to accept that sometimes you finish a project and then you look at it and then you go like, you know, and then you kind of already know in your heart that you're never going to wear this. And it's like something that you invested hours and hours and hours in and a lot of money in buying the materials. But I think it's just like part of the deal, where it's just like it's like a disadvantage of knitting, that you're never really sure how something is going to look like in the end, unless you like use a specific yarn that the designer also used in the pattern. Then it's a little bit more predictable, but I don't really do that. I don't think I've ever done that. So I've had like projects end up being like a little disappointing, but when something does work out, like this sweater, I think it makes it all the more special. So yeah. In the end though, I actually tried it on again today and it's really not bad. Yeah, I think the stretching was really not that bad in the end. It's still very wearable, so there was no reason to worry like that. But yeah, I don't know, like a lot of emotions with this kind of hand washing and blocking session. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with why I keep postponing it so much. Potentially. Glorious. Then it's time for the works in progress. So, first of all, I want to show you the progress on this never-ending work in progress, which is the Briza dress. But I should show you. Actually, the never-ending project, I think it's kind of nearing completion, which is kind of a surprise. I feel like, I don't know, I've been working on this one for many, many months. I don't know if you actually can see the bottom right now. I should like move a little bit back. So this is the back with the cross straps, and then this is the front. Can you actually see it all the way? Yeah. It's fully a dress already now. I think I want to have it like 20 centimeters longer, but I'm on my second to last skein of yarn, which really comes as a surprise because I've been knitting this project for months and months and months, and I think like somewhere I just had like the feeling about this now that this is gonna like never end. But it is, I think, in a few weeks, which is, yeah, like, I don't know, it will free up so much time to work on other things that will also work up a bit more quickly. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also really excited about finishing this. I think this might be a project that I'm gonna be like meh about in the end, because my tension is not always super even. This is a Tencel bamboo yarn from Hobby in Bordeaux. It's really visible whenever you add like a new skein. Should show you. Yeah, I think you should be able to see like that. It's really, yeah, it's quite visible. I didn't really know how to do it. Yeah, how to make them less visible. I did two different methods of yarn attachment. The first one was with this Russian knot, I think it's called, and the second one was like doubling of the yarn for a few stitches, which I preferred in the end because the knots always messed up my tension. But yeah, it's not perfect by a long shot. Also, I don't know if this is the most flattering type of dress for me. The A-line is very beautiful, but the framing of the top is quite square, which I don't think is super flattering. But yeah, the color is really beautiful. The material is just heavenly. It's so soft, it's so light and airy. So I think I will wear this one, but I don't think it will be like a super go-to item for me. Which I'm fine with, honestly. The yarn was not that expensive. I am still working on it I think I started like 4 months ago and been like semi-regularly working on it. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited to be nearing the end. I think I will feel a bit weird about it when it's over, because I like knitting this. It felt very satisfying. I said this, I think, in my first podcast as well, and it still feels like that, even after knitting like the same for 4 months, because you're kind of just making a cylinder. Every stitch is still very satisfying to me, which I think is quite special. Which otherwise also I think I would have not been so near to finishing it. But yeah, this is a free pattern from Hobby, so you can just access it on the website. I will put the link to the pattern in the description box. Any other brave souls who want to attempt to knit this, I would love to see what you're making, so you can always send me a picture or a video of what you're working on. Would be really cool to see other people making this one as well. Yeah, so much progress. I think it was so much shorter last time that I showed it. I think it was like until here or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Every time I look at it, I'm like, the stitches are so small. It's a 3mm needle, so that's a lot of fabric to knit with 3mm needles. I don't think I will be doing something like this again quite soon. I will be saving the 3mm for camisoles and such, and anything that's bigger than a camisole, I will be focusing on 4mm plus needle sizes, because yeah, I don't need to do this to myself again. Yeah. Then a second work in progress. It's the camisole number 3 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I think this is a really beautiful pattern, but I was struggling with this one a lot. I frogged it like 5 times, I think. One time I was like nearing the end of the body, and I tried it on, and it was like much too big for me. I was experimenting with this one a little bit in making the cup sizes bigger, but then still adjusting the rest of the stitches in the row of the body to go back to a medium, because that's usually my size for tops. But I knit like medium sizes, the bust size is sometimes not big enough for me. So yeah, I was experimenting with that, but it was like the medium size was just way too big for me. So then I redid it with size medium for the cups and then size small for the body, and it was still much too big. Then I did size small for the cups and extra small for the body, it was still too big. And now I adjusted the cups to be smaller than the extra small, and then the body to be like way smaller. And I think now it's gonna be okay. So there was like a lot of extra calculating and constructing that I had to do on this pattern. I think it has to do with the yarn. I don't really know what else could be the reason. I could have also adjusted my needle size, but I quite like the way the 3.5mm looked with this kind of fabric. The yarn that I'm using for this is Rowan Yarn's Cotton Cashmere in the colorway Sea Spray. It's really beautiful, but I think the tension of it was so off that it kind of just messed with the whole sizing of the pattern, which again, team never make a swatch, so I do this to myself. I'm also not that mad about it, even if I frogged it 5 times. I could have also just like put it on hold and started on one of the many other projects on my project list, but I didn't mind knitting it so much. And I think now I kind of have a good sizing with this kind of yarn. So I'm hoping that I can just continue knitting now, and then it will be done in like a week or 2, I think. So yeah. Something else that I found a bit weird with this pattern is that there's also like triangles in the back, and they use kind of the same, they use the same pattern as the top of the triangles in the front, but because the triangles in the front are cups, they curve outward a little bit, and so these triangles in the back, they're also a little bit like how do you say this? Convex, I think. Yeah, I think it's convex. So they don't really lay flat against your back, which looks a bit funny. I think this might be solved by blocking, but yeah, I don't really know what the idea was for the structuring. I really love the way that these cups are made. They're super flattering against your bust. So yeah, that's really nice. I've been working on this one for a few weeks already now, also because of all the frogging, but I'm hoping that it's gonna go quickly now. Then the third work in progress of this podcast is the olive top from Knitting for Olive. I've been wanting to make this one for quite a while and finally started on it. It's really cute. I really love these kinds of olives that I'm making. I hope you can see. I'll come a bit closer. I'm using Rowan Yarn's Summer Light 4-ply with this, which is a very soft, comfortable cotton yarn, and it's got a lovely drape. The colorway is Pepper Pot, which is this nice kind of green-gray color, which I think looks super nice with the olive pattern. I'm kind of doing the same thing in this pattern, where I'm making the cups bigger than they ask for in a size medium. I don't know if I'm setting myself up for failure with this again, because I already knitted one triangle for the front, and it looks really big. So I think it might be too big, actually. Some possible frogging in the future for this one as well. It's kind of hard to see because my needles are a bit too short, so I can't like spread it all the way out. But I'm really loving the look of this. So another work in progress. I also worked quite a lot on this, I think. It's only the two triangles that Jeez. It's only the two triangles that I've been doing now, but it's quite tedious, the olive pattern, so really happy with the progress. Then I don't know if this counts as a work in progress because I frogged it, but I started the outline tank from Jessie May Designs, and I realized that I wanted to knit it in a size small instead of a size medium. It's the second pattern I've knit from her, and they were both really oversized patterns. I think I knit this one in a small too, I'm pretty sure, because they are very oversized, even like 2 sizes oversized, they said in this one. And I think it would look nicer with it being less oversized for me, this outline tank. Also, I only have 2 skeins of this yarn, so I think it's a smarter move to knit it in a small to decrease the chances that I will have to get another one. This is Rowan's Yak yarn. What's it called? Yeah, it's Owen Yarn's Yak yarn, and it's in the colorway jaune, and it's this really beautiful yellow, green-gray yarn. So I'm really, really obsessed with this yarn. But I think with the other, I've just been working on the Camisole number 3 and the Briza dress, because the Briza dress is nearly finished and I want to get it done, and the Camisole number 3, I've had to frog so much, I want to kind of stay in the momentum with it. So I'm taking a break on this one, and I've also not been working on the olive top in the past week, but they will be picked up again once the Camisole number 3 and the Briza dress is done, which will be quite soon, I think. Also, I've been really loving this project bag. I thought I wouldn't like it because I always used to use tote bags and they have like a handle, but this one is actually really easy to put in bags or in backpacks, and sometimes I just also like put it on my wrist like this and carry it around. I think it looks super cool. It was made by the Blue Rabbit House. I'm not sponsored, I just really like this bag. The material is super good quality, and all of the drawings, I think they look super gorgeous. So yeah, I'm actually using it so much. I'm really happy with it. Then we can go on to the yarn acquisitions. Before I go into all of the things that I bought in Scotland, I did make one purchase in Belgium still before my trip. I went with a friend to this yarn shop in Brussels called Kaleidoscope, and it was a super cute store. I don't have any video from the inside of the store because it's closing soon. The woman who owns the shop is retiring, and she preferred to not have any more images because there was not that much stock left, and she didn't want to attract new customers when the store was closing in a few weeks. I got these two really beautiful skeins of yarn. It's by Life in the Long Grass, it's called. I didn't know what the letters stood for, so I looked it up, and the brand name is Life in the Long Grass, which I think it's okay. I can see now it was also on the tag. I missed that. But anyway, I think that's the cutest name. It's this Irish hand dyeing shop, and I looked on their site, on their about page, and they really value treating their animals well and being mindful of the dyes that they use. So yeah, that just all sounded really lovely. The colorway that I have these in is Grey Slake. It's this kind of blue-gray, and it has some speckles in it, some pink, green, blue speckles. It's a really lovely yarn. I think this is a fingering too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a fingering, but I'm not like an expert on that. And I'm planning to knit the Euphoria top with this one. I think it would look super nice, this little kind of shell-like pattern. So I got two skeins, which should be enough for it. I'm kind of bummed because like summer is nearing the end and I've got so many cool summer tops still on my project list. So, but I know once it starts getting colder that I will want to start knitting sweaters again. So yeah, it's like the typical, I don't know, for me it's typical like project list anxiety when knitting. So yeah, also really excited about this. Yeah, I think it will be one of the next projects that I will try to still get this one done before it's really autumn. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get this one started before like the autumnal weather starts, which I think should work out. So yeah, super beautiful yarn. Then I went for 1 week to Scotland. I've been back now for about a week, and it was such a lovely trip. The weather was great also because I've heard the stories that it's like raining so often there and it's cold, but it was quite sunny when we were there, and it was like warm but not super hot, which was nice because we've been having heat wave after heat wave here in Belgium. And it's such a beautiful country. I was really in awe to see all the lakes there, the beautiful nature. I would really love to go back there sometime. Yeah, really had a lot of fun on this trip. And of course, I was looking forward to making some yarn purchases. I only bought yarn in Edinburgh. I looked up some yarn stores that I would like to visit there, and there were 3 of them, and I made purchases in all 3. And yeah, all purchases, and I'm really excited about to start knitting with them. So yeah, it's hard, you know, like you want to do so many things at the same time, but knitting is not like something that goes fast. So, you know, I have to practice my patience, which is a good thing. So yeah, I don't think it comes as a big surprise that I bought a lot of things on this trip either. So yeah. The store that I want to talk to you guys about first was Inspired Fibres. It was a really small store, but they had a lot of things. The woman who operated it, she was so kind, she was so helpful. She really went all over the store to look for a suitable yarn for the project that I wanted to work on. Yeah, she was incredibly helpful and kind, and I really enjoyed visiting the shop. She's also been operating the shop for about 10 years, she said, and she had to make a lot of adjustments in that time. She said that the clientele is changing a lot, which I can imagine. I think like younger people like me are kind of catching the knitting bug in the last years more and more. And then also she had to make adjustments with COVID. So yeah, I can imagine it's not easy operating a store like that throughout like a longer time period. But I'm really super, I'm really overjoyed with like the purchases I made there. So yeah, I'm gonna show you all of them. So the first acquisitions that I wanted to show you are this BioBalance yarn from BC Yarn in the colorway Camel. It feels so amazing. It's organic wool and cotton blends. It's super soft and supple, this yarn. I'm so excited to start knitting with this. I want to make Fable Knitwear's Antiquity blouse with this one. So I'm using this yarn for the body, and then the sleeves are knit in a mohair. And I got this Filcolana Tilia mohair, which is 30% silk and 70% kit mohair, and it's in the colorway Latte, which is very cute. Yeah, it works. So I think it's gonna be super beautiful together. The mohair is a little bit lighter, but I think this contrast will look very well. They both have more of a colder undertone, which I really like in this kind of beigey colors. So yeah, really excited. I think almost all of the yarn that I bought, I want to make Fable knitwear patterns. When I first was looking through her patterns like a few months ago, I thought, oh, this isn't really my style. Like, it looks super gorgeous, but it isn't really my style. But then, like now, a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at them again, and then I was like, but I need this to become my style. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just looking forward to knitting this. It seems all of the patterns, they seem so interesting. So I think it will just be really fun to be working on anyway. And then you will have this beautiful piece of clothing at the end of it. So yeah, super stoked. Then I bought quite a few skeins of this, oh, I don't know, it's Camarose's organic wool in the colorway Bordeaux. This is a 100% organic wool. It's a little bit more rough. I'm hoping it's going to be okay for me. And the pattern that I want to make with this is also from Fable Knitwear. It's the Capulet blouse. I don't know how to pronounce this. The Capulet blouse. And I think this yarn is really nice for kind of more of a vintagey project. I really love this color as well. I think it's gonna be a super romantic blouse. I'm really looking forward to having this piece of clothing. I'm really looking forward to getting started on that. I think it's gonna be super nice. I saw this yarn also in shops when I was visiting Norway last year, but I didn't end up buying any of it. So yeah, no, I didn't when I was in Scotland. Then in the Inspired Fibres shop, I bought also 2 skeins of hand-dyed yarn from Ushitita. Yeah, I'm also not sure how to pronounce this, but I've got 2 skeins of hand-dyed yarn, one in the colorway Midnight and one in the colorway Sweatpants. I mean, how absolutely stunning is this yarn? Yeah, it's like this really deep dark blue, and it has some lighter streaks of these other quite vibrant colors like lighter blue, orangey brown, greens, some pink in here as well. I don't know yet what I want to make with this one, but it was too stunning to not buy. They also had only 1 skein, I think, which is why it's difficult for me to know what to do with it. It's a sock yarn, but I'm not a sock knitter. I might end up knitting socks again at some point, but I don't feel inspired to knit socks, so I don't think I'm gonna knit socks with these ones. We'll see. Maybe like a really small top or a bandeau or something like that. But yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous hand-dyed yarn. And then the second one I got in the colorway Sweatpants. It's like, for me, it's kind of really sea colors, like these light blue, green, blue colors. It's also a really fun looking yarn, and I want to make the pure mesh pullover from James & Watts with this. I've never made the pattern by this designer before, but I'm really looking forward. It's this mesh sweater with really big gaps. I think it's knit on like 10mm needles or something with a fingering yarn, and I think it's gonna look super cool as like kind of a party kind of top. I think it would be super cool to wear something that I knit myself when going out to parties, so that would be super cool. Yeah. That would be so nerdy but so cool at the same time. So yeah, I'm also just really interested in making something like this because I've never made like anything in mesh before, so that's also going to be super cool, I think. And it will probably work up super quickly as well because you're using 10mm needles. So yeah. I'm basically super excited about everything that I bought, honestly, which is a good thing, which is a great thing. So yeah. Then the last thing I bought in this shop was some Liquier Cipra needles. They're the copper needles. I kind of had them stuck in my mind ever since I saw that Well of Knits had bought the set. They had the set in the store, but it was like quite a big purchase. And May, the woman who runs the store, said that she is a little bit ambivalent about the needles because she didn't like the sound that they made. So she advised me to buy some separate ones to see if I like them. And I do really like them, honestly. I don't mind the sound, but I also would really like to buy the driftwood sets because she showed them to me and they are such lovely needles. I can't buy the two sets. That would be so much over the top. I basically already have like a full set of the Knit Pro needles and they're fine, but they're such nice needles. Like, I don't need it. I don't need them, but they're just so nice and I will keep wanting them until I buy them, which will probably happen at some point. But for now, I'm really happy that I bought these ones. I got them in the 4mm and the 3.5mm, which are currently the ones that I'm working on the Camisole number 3 with. I really, really like the swivel cord. My Knit Pro needles don't have a swivel cord, so it was really, yeah, so easy and so comfortable to work with. And they look super, super beautiful as well. So yeah. Also, I remember that I think I got like all this project inspiration from this video from the Harry Knit, in which she lists all kinds of knitting designers that she thinks that you should know. And yeah, it has the James & Watts mesh pullover. Also, I think 2 projects of Fable knitwear. So I definitely got like the inspiration for all the projects I want to be doing with this yarn from that video. Yeah, I was watching that video and I was like, oh, I need to make all of this. It's the best. Which is very good for feeling inspired and motivated, and very bad for my wallet and having still space in my house that is not filled up with yarn. You win some, you lose some. The second store that I went to was called Ginger Twist. It was again a super small store in Edinburgh. All the knitting stores that I went through there were super tiny, which was also quite cute. And she hand dyes many of the yarns herself. The range of yarns there was absolutely stunning. And she also had some really nice accessories there as well. I got quite a lot of skeins, I think 5 skeins of this hand-dyed yarn. It's called Ginger's Hand-Dyed Leading Lady Lace, which is such a fun name. I really love that. And the colorway is Old Town Cobblestone, which is absolutely gorgeous. I am planning to knit the Lucrezia blouse with this, which is also from Fable Knitwear, which is also an absolutely stunning pattern. I think it will be really nice in this colorway. I realized that I quite like wearing more gray and black, but I barely ever knit in those colors. Like, I barely ever knit in darker colors at all. which I think might have something to do subconsciously with me thinking it's nicer to knit with lighter colors because you can see everything better. But I was thinking like, yeah, maybe it should be good to knit with some darker colors. So I will have some garments with a darker color in the wardrobe of items that I made myself. So yeah, the tags on these yarns are super cute. There are these ginger cats with glasses on that are playing with yarn, which is, yeah, that's absolutely adorable. Yeah. I also got this really cute project bag from them. It's the storefront. It's a much thinner bag than the other one I have, but I think it's also really nice. And I think it's good to have another project bag because, yeah, I have too many projects often. So, yeah, it's nice to also store some things in there. Then I also bought some buttons there. I bought these buttons. I bought 2 packs of 3, and they're super cute. Yeah. I think I might use them for the Deja Vu cardigan actually. I was thinking of using them for a cardigan that I'm gonna mention later, which is in a black color. I think it could also work really nice on a black cardigan, but I'm not sure. I think I might want the black cardigan to also have darker buttons. They might be like blue, but not as light as this. I still need to like think about that a little bit. But I'm really happy that I got these buttons because they're absolutely gorgeous. They're called incomparable buttons. And they're handmade and fully washable. So yeah, that's really cool. I'll put a link for these buttons also in the description box. Also, I was telling the woman in the Ginger Twist store about the project that I wanted to make, the Lucrezia blouse. And she immediately wanted to know like which designer it was, and then she was also on Fable Knitwear's page and looking at all the projects, and now you're both kind of gushing about how beautiful the patterns are that she makes. So that was really fun. Like all the shop owners of these knitting stores were such lovely and kind people. So it was a really a joy to go there. I had such a good experience. And now it's time already to talk about the last store of the 3 that I visited, which is Kathy's Knits. This was also quite a small store, a bit bigger than the other 2, but yeah, also really nice. The woman there was also really nice, very helpful, and they also had quite an interesting selection there. I bought yarn for 2 different projects there. The first thing I bought is 3 skeins of this West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. It's called the Exquisite 4-ply. It's very luxurious, but it's a black yarn. So I really wanted to make something black. I don't think I've ever knit something black before. I did like a charcoal gray, but nothing black yet. And I want to make Fable Knitwear's airy cardigan with this. I think it's gonna look amazing. It has this really nice cinched cuff, and I think with the black, it's just it's gonna be great. I look forward so much to knitting this one. I originally also bought those blue buttons to go with this one, but I think I'm gonna change my mind about that. This yarn is 80% Falkland wool and 20% mulberry silk. It is incredibly soft, and it would be knit double to make this sweater. Yeah, nothing more to say about this. Absolutely lovely fiber. Then I got some skeins of this JC Rennie and Co, which is a Scottish yarn, which is super nice. It's their super soft 4-ply, and it's 100% wool. This one is also, even though it's the super soft, it's wool, so it's a little bit itchy. Do you guys also always like rub the skeins on your neck to see if they're itchy, or is that just something weird that I do? But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm hoping that this one is gonna be doable for me to wear next to skin, because I want to make the Bernadette turtleneck from Fable Knitwear with this one, which is a turtleneck, which is dangerous to knit with something that's not really soft for me. I still need to get like a turtleneck cotton top to wear under some other knits projects that I made. So even if it's too itchy, I can also do a combination of a cotton turtleneck underneath this one in the winter. But I'm hoping it's gonna be soft enough by itself. This, what is the colorway? Oh, the colorway is called Wizard. That is so cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's such a beautiful Bordeaux purpley color. She said it was really good to knit some vintage projects with, which I mean, like Fable Knitwear vintage projects match made in heaven. It's called like Fable Vintage, I think, on Etsy anyway. So like it would be perfect, but this yarn is a little bit too thin. This yarn is for 3mm needle size, and the pattern is worked with 3.5, 4mm. So it might not work with this yarn. But I think I might size down to a 3.5 needle size and knit like a medium or a large. This sounds like more risky experimenting will lie ahead in my future, but I'm okay with it. It will cause me some pain and some suffering, but it will probably be worth it in the end. So yeah, it's such a gorgeous fiber. So yeah, I can't believe that was it for today. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I feel like I had so many things to talk about, but it went so fast. But maybe that just, I don't know, maybe it just felt fast. Anyways, I hope that you guys are working on some really fun things yourselves. I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me on this podcast episode today, and I look forward to reading your comments again and seeing you on my next episode. As always, I wish you guys happy knitting and see you next time. Bye!
Yay!